and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm showing you how I do my own gel manicures at home. I decided to give this a go because getting your nails done in the salon can be expensive, and while I really enjoy the experience, it's not always in my budget. I also like that if one or two nails chip, I can just fix them myself rather than waiting till my next appointment. As always, I'll leave a link to everything I've used in the description box below. I'll show you firstly how I remove the gel polish because I did these last week and now they're ready to come off. For this step, you'll need a nail buffer, and I like these blocks because they bend to the shape of your nail. You'll need some 100% acetone because the nail polish remover in your cupboard isn't going to cut it if it's not 100%. Some cotton wool and aluminium foil. I actually found these little alfoil squares that already have the cotton wool stuck on them. They're not necessary, but they do work really well. And you'll also need a cuticle pusher. First, buff the shiny layer off the top of your nails using the buffer. You can use a regular nail file, but I find these block ones work really well and do the job quickly. You want to be careful at this step not to touch your natural nail. Second, apply the 100% acetone to the cotton ball and wrap your nails up. You want a generous amount of acetone without dripping it everywhere. After about 10 minutes, I can pretty much rub the polish off my nails just using the cotton ball. You can use the cuticle pusher to get rid of anything left over, but be super careful because at this stage your nails are pretty soft and you can really dig this in if you're too enthusiastic with it. To prepare your nails for the gel polish, I'm using cuticle dissolver, an emery board, nail clippers, cuticle clippers, isopropyl alcohol, lint-free wipes, and a buffing block. You want your nails to be dry, so avoid doing this straight after a shower or after doing the dishes, and don't soak your hands before. I start by shaping my nails and removing any dead skin around the cuticle. If your nails are super long, use clippers or scissors first, but I use an emery board to make sure the shape of my nails is generally uniform and the length that I want. You want to avoid sawing back and forth because that can weaken your nail. Then for the cuticles, I apply this cuticle dissolver from Sally Hansen first. I just put it all around the nail, leave it on for 30 seconds, then I get out my cuticle pusher and push back the cuticles. I'm quite careful here so that I don't damage my nails. I think what this product does is dissolve the sticky residue your cuticles leave on your nail, but it's pretty effective at getting rid of some of the dry dead skin as well. Then I wash that off. You can use the alcohol on a wipe so you don't have to get your hands wet and potentially compromise your nails, but I usually just wash them quickly. At this stage, there are often some cuticles to trim. I've always loved really getting in there with the cuticle trimmer, but I've realized that when I prune them too thoroughly, they grow back all jagged and dry and it's not a nice look. So just trim back the dead bits and leave the cuticle itself as intact as possible. After all, it is there for a reason. Okay, nails are shaped. Now I get that flexible block buffer thing and lightly buff the nail to create a rougher surface. This will help the gel polish adhere better to the nail. Definitely don't spend too much time on this step, and if you're on a cycle of doing gel nails weekly or fortnightly, just focus on the section of the nail that you didn't get last time, because you really don't want to cause the nail to become too thin. At this point, make sure you have your whole kit ready to go, have the polish out, the lamp plugged in, and the paintbrush and acetone nearby. Next, soak a lint-free wipe or a cotton ball with the alcohol. They say you should use lint-free wipes, but if you don't have those, don't stress. The really fluffy cotton balls might not be so good because you could get fibers in your polish, and that's really annoying, but you can use tissues, paper towel, or cotton pads. Also make sure you're putting the cap back on the alcohol and acetone every time you use them because they have a tendency to evaporate straight out of the bottle. You'll see how quickly the cotton ball dries out as you do this. Spend a good amount of time here getting into the corners of your nail. What this process does is it dries out the nail so the polish adheres better and it's less likely to chip or peel. Once you're done with that step, go straight into painting your nails. You don't want to wash your hands or get any oil or lint on them at this stage. Painting your nails. For this step, I'm using a UV lamp, a base coat, color coat, and top coat, some acetone, and a very small paintbrush. First step is to apply the base coat. I shake the bottle really thoroughly first. I do one hand at a time, so I'm not worried about touching the partially done nails in between. With every layer that I paint, I want it to be really thin. A thick layer won't cure all the way through and might look thick and gloopy on your nails. You can always apply more than one coat if you think you haven't done enough, but this is more important for the color coats. So I apply the base coat to each nail on this hand, re-dipping for every nail, which is a pain, but it means I'm less likely to put too much polish on the first nail. I apply a bit of polish to the free edge to seal it in, and then cure for 30 seconds under the lamp. I position my thumb sort of on top of my index finger so that it gets as much light as possible. Then I apply the first coat of color. The color I'm using is OPI Big Apple Red, and I like it because it's a solid true red. It's not too pink, it's not too orange, and it's also a good contrast so you can actually see what I'm doing. I apply the polish more in the middle of the nail first and then push it up to the cuticle without actually touching the cuticle. And then the same with the sides of the nail. If you get any polish on the skin, two things will happen. First, the polish can get really hot under the lamp, and if it's touching your skin, you will know about it. And two, as your nail grows out, it'll peel away from the skin and your nails won't last as long. So just apply a thin layer and don't get it around the edges. Also, if it looks a bit sheer on the first coat, that's fine. I'll probably do 2 coats for this color, but for some colors I will do 3 coats. Just apply as many coats as you think you need to get the color looking good, and also capping the free edge again. If you do get any polish around the edges, I like to have a tiny paintbrush with some acetone on hand to clean up around the edges. I got this nail art brush from eBay because the nail art ones are really tiny, but if you have an old makeup brush or paintbrush, then you can use those too. Just wash them after you've used them and they'll be fine. Then cure those nails under the lamp for 30 seconds. Then I repeat that once more, cure again for 30 seconds, and then I am done with the color. Now I'm going to apply the top coat. These tend to be thicker, but you still want to apply a fairly thin layer, and always remember to cap the free edge before curing. I cure the top coat for 60 seconds, and this layer tends to feel hotter under the lamp than the other layers, but you can take your nails out for a bit and put them back in if it gets too hot. Don't cure your nails for any longer than you need to. You don't want to over cure them because they'll become very brittle and prone to snapping. So just do it for the recommended amount of time. The nails are basically done now, but you'll probably notice a sticky residue on top. I wipe this off with some more of the isopropyl alcohol, and sometimes I go over them twice if I'm not satisfied that it's all off. And that's it, they're done. Then I repeat on the other hand. The cured nails won't budge, so it's really easy to get on with the second hand. And that's it, both hands finished. I finish off with some cuticle oil. This is unnecessary, but it's nice to do, and this particular one smells really good. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here for another video next time.